Hey, if you're anything like me, I know you're super excited for this week coming up because there's a lot of good earnings coming up. I am very excited, and we're going to talk about these earnings coming up starting next week, starting the 18th of May here. We got a lot of good ones to talk about, and let's get into it. I'll let you know some of the ones that I'm particularly looking out for, give you some insight. So we're going to start Monday with an interesting one before open. It's Nordic American Tankers. I think this one really relies more around the conference call for this kind of company. So you see with oil completely just crashing beyond belief, these tanker companies actually have found a lot more business, transporting oil, stuff like that. So there's a decent chance that you actually see good results next quarter for like a Nordic American tankers. And a lot of people have really been picking up on these stocks and actually getting quite a bit of money from them. There's been plenty of money to be made in some of these tanker stocks. So I'll be looking at it. I'm not typically one who messes or looks at commodities all that much. And obviously a tanker's not a commodity, but it's a transport for a commodity. So I'm not really into the commodity markets as much, but it's something I'll definitely be looking at. After that, we have SEA, baby. Oasis Petroleum, more oil. Then we have Sogyu, Chinese company I'm not too familiar with, actually. They've copied Google, is what it looks like. That's all I can tell you. Inspired, Sohu, completely different from Sogyu. Denbury, CBL, CBL and Associate Properties. Interesting one there. Obviously, the question with a lot of these type of companies, these real estate companies, is going to be dividend. And these have been stocks that have been hit hard. Like harder than nearly anything in the market. So the question is, what does that mean for them? Do they find recovery if they, reassure that the dividends stay in? Who knows? I'd like to see. But then we have Kamada. We have NIU. That's right. It's not NEO. This is NIU. Don't get confused, okay? Monday after close, there's some good ones. There's no doubt about it. We've got Baidu. Baidu's a great company. There's no doubt about it. Baidu's fantastic. And then IQ, some might say the Netflix of China, because we like to make everyone in a quote-unquote of China. That's kind of how it goes. If you're a company related similar to something that's around the world or in the United States, you become the blank of China, that company of China. So IQ is the Netflix of China, supposedly. They've shown massive subscriber growth as far as their platform's considered, but they've seen a lot of a big dip in terms of overall EPS. EPS has been bad for this company, and I think it's something that's going to get hit more in the short term too. If we talk about ad rates declining, the company's going to get hit pretty hard in terms of EPS. But again, if they grow subscribers at a massive rate, who knows what that looks like? I'm not sure. Trivago is probably going to have horrific numbers. I'll just tell you that right now. You think about Trivago, it's a completely travel-based company. I mean, this is where you get a hotel. This is where you go to check hotel prices, stuff like that. Trivago's not going to have much money coming in. Just really not. It's going to be fractions of what they saw previously. And this isn't going to be just this quarter they're reporting, but probably even bigger of an impact on next quarter, if you think about it. So this quarter is probably going to be bad. Next quarter is going to be even worse. Vacations still aren't happening. I'm sorry, they're not letting us travel beyond state lines. So we're going to be banned from vacations for another month at least. So Trivago, no one's really going to be using your service. They might be looking at it to search, so you might see the revenue they get might be from advertisements. That might be the most of what they get. But overall, it's going to be awful numbers for Trivago, in my opinion. We've got Bilibili. Then we have a stock that I hold quite a bit of in Apple Hospitality, another real estate investment trust that owns a lot of high-quality hotel locations. It does the rent for them, and these are high-quality ones that don't go under. So my interest is going to be how many of these places have actually paid rent and what that means for this company. They recently suspended their dividend, so hopefully they give news on when that might be coming back. Who knows? But obviously, it's not many people. You're limiting how many people can even stay at this hotel. Most hotels you can't even be in. But now that we're starting to open it up, it'll be likely to see what kind of guidance. I'll be interested to see what they have going on. Then you got Buen, Buenaventura, yeah, that's a something about definitely vacation related, I think, unless I'm insane. I think it is. I might be wrong, but not sure on that one. Then we have another company. I'm not sure on. It's a Chinese company again. Not too sure on that one. Sorry. Then we have CBDMD. CBD, baby. Danios. Danios. It's a name I've actually never seen. Name I've never seen before. It'll be interesting to see. Tuesday is kind of where we hit these bangers. Okay, we're getting into the good ones, right? A lot of beautiful ones coming on here. This is a big retail focused week. So Tuesday morning we have probably one of the biggest earnings reports we could see at all. I mean, we saw a bad April report as far as retail sales are concerned, but Walmart here is going to post a massive quarter here before open on Tuesday. They're going to post a massive quarter. You're going to see massive digital growth, somewhere between 40 and 50% growth probably for the quarter. You'll also see just a big use of their online pickup service. They'll probably highlight that, I would assume, or their grocery pickup service where you order online and do that. That'll probably be mentioned. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Well, they may say traffic is down in store, and it might be that way. But pretty much in this kind of market that we've been going through, if you were an essential place, you benefited quite a bit. If you were considered non-essential, you got screwed. That's just a fact. Walmart, they were essential, and guess what? They got a lot of business. They've had a lot of business go through them, especially digital too. They're going to post a massive report. Home Depot, I think, is going to do the same way. If we look at that retail sales report for April, we saw home improvement did increase, not much year over year, all things considered, but I think that it'll be a very good quarter for them. We talk about winter kind of went a little bit long, but people are itching to do home improvement projects. People are locked in their houses, okay? When you're locked in your house, you tend to notice all the flaws or what you want to improve. So people definitely, especially with their stimulus check, their tax returns, they went and bought some stuff for home improvement. They went and they undertook that project that they were waiting on because they had the free time to do it. So I think Home Depot should benefit quite a bit. And spring is their season, so this is their big quarter for giving out guidance, at least at a minimum. They'll see a little bit of a benefit towards the later part of their quarter this quarter, but guidance is going to be huge on this company. Then you see Advanced Auto Parts. I mean, not much to say about these. These are companies that have been kind of hamstrung just by the current environment in the market. I mean, all the safety procedures that have to go into any sort of work on vehicles, it is going to be crazy. The expenses are going to be up out of the roof, no doubt about it. Then you have Eagle Material. Nothing exciting with Eagle Materials there to my knowledge. We have Weibo. It's a website I've heard of, but I don't know too much about it. I don't know why I couldn't speak there. But I just, I couldn't speak. After that, you have McEwen Mining. Don't know much to say. Again, we talk about commodities. It's not one of them I'm really super knowledgeable about. So we talk about gold, silver. I don't typically get involved with those. So mining companies, I don't typically do a lot of research on, but we'll take a look at. There's Dycom. And then one of the quote-unquote non-essentials in Kohl's. It's a bummer. You're going to expect some dismal results from Kohl's. My real questions about this earnings report is going to be how their online service kind of benefited. But when you look at it, companies that actually deliver for them, such as FedEx, really lowered their priority for this company. They're not delivering with high priority for Kohl's as they were previously because they're considered a non-essential. So the question is, how does that return? How has online sales been looking for Kohl's? And how does this reopening look? We have a lot of Kohl's stores opening up as early as next week. But you're going to be unable to try clothing on for solid months, probably. I mean, months. How bad does that hurt their sales? That's a good question. And again, maybe I don't know. That's the whole point of physical clothing retail is you are able to try on the clothing. So I don't know what that's going to look like for them. We then have One Smart and Sina, both Chinese companies. A lot of Chinese companies reporting this week. After close, Urban Outfitters. Again, just expect dismal numbers from these guys. They're going to be bad. The real it just refers to, or the stock price will entirely relate to what the conference call says and how the CEO talks about the company and what the recovery looks like. These are, again, stocks that have been hit hard. We talk about real estate investment trust. These non-essential retailers have been hit just as hard. I mean, Kohl's down somewhat 50% this year. These stocks have been hit hard. There's NetEase after them. Excel Brands, SQM, Cornet Digital, Carriage Services, if that is what I think it is, I don't know. Ascendis Pharma, not too familiar with biopharmas personally. I have someone, my good buddy in the comments probably knows about this one if there's anything exciting going on. So leave me a comment about Ascendis if you know anything going on with this one, if there's something to look out for. There's Intracon, Red Rock Casino Resort and Spa. Red Rock, expect dismal numbers again. I mean, this quarter, next quarter, you're going to expect awful numbers from Red Rock. And I think people already expect that at this point. These stocks have been hit so freaking hard. Then Performant to end it up. Wednesday, we got another great day. I mean, it's good stuff going on here Wednesday. When you have the likes of Target reporting before open. That's right, Target, another one of the essential retailers, which actually reported in the month of, believe it was March, that they saw 100% growth in terms of digital retail. Again, this is a number you're expecting around 50% growth year over year in terms of their online service. The benefit they have with Shipt, you're probably going to see a lot more users of the Shipt portion of their membership. Red Card users, they always tend to talk about that. I'll be very interested, but obviously in-store business, probably you saw a little bit less traffic, but overall with what they gained online, I guarantee you Target has a massive quarter. And again, the question might be on EPS. What does that look like? Lowe's is another one of the quote-unquote essential retailers. I would expect a massive quarter for them as well. They should benefit just like Home Depot did, and all things considered. So I'll be looking out for these. Then there's McKesson. Good company, all things considered. Analog Devices. They're a chip maker, not necessarily their top tier chip maker, not one you hear a lot about, but they're a very consistent company, and I do like Analog Devices personally. It's something I hold. Big fan of Analog Devices. There's Opera. That's right. People use Opera still, and they don't use Google Chrome. Can you believe it? Or do they? I don't know. Maybe this earnings will tell me. Do people still use Opera? I feel like you shouldn't. I did at one point, actually, and it's trash. Do you like using the internet from the 1990s? You might as well use Opera because that's what it feels like. What an unintuitive service. Just garbage. Maybe that's because I did use it back then. No, Opera sucks. Sorry. Dr. Reddy's. I don't know about that one, but I kind of like it. Frontline MediWound. I don't know what MediWound is, but this is something just to mention in general with surgical companies. I don't know necessarily how this is going to look for surgical companies because a lot of surgeries have been postponed unless they're essential surgeries or life-threatening ones. So you'd think maybe this company takes a hit. Not too sure, actually. Not a company I'm super familiar with. Then we have QE and RBC Bearings. After close, this is a very big report to look at here as well. After close, Take-Two should report very big numbers as well. We saw Activision Blizzard report really good numbers. Take-Two should benefit quite a bit. One thing you think about as far as Take-Two is concerned specifically is going to be their NBA 2K series. This is stuff that they've been streaming on television because we haven't had basketball. Is the demand so high for basketball that people are buying the video games? I guarantee it probably is. So I bet they saw a decent benefit just from sports franchises as a whole. But there's a lot we need to know about Take-Two, honestly. So I just think overall they're going to do a great job. Should be a good quarter. Next quarter should be good as well. Video game sales are off the charts right now. Then we have Expedia Group. Expedia expect to get hammered. I mean, this is just a bad. I'm not saying the stock will go down necessarily. It's already been hit pretty hard, but just bad numbers. Just bad numbers. Synopsys. L Brands is one that is definitely going to get hit hard, and the stock's already plummeted hard on this one too, because they've recently had their buyer from Victoria's Secret back out. L Brands is a company that's running out of funds. I mean, it's bad. It's bad for this company, and this only hurts them even more. So, not a huge fan of L Brands right now. You have Huya.com, ZTO Express. These Chinese companies are everywhere. Boot Barn, expect bad numbers from Boot Barn. Sorry, you're not essential. YY Incorporated, all these Chinese companies. Nordson and Copart. After close Thursday, we've got, that's right, before open, BJ's Wholesale. Now, BJ's Wholesale, not a regional chain for me, so it's not one I'm familiar with, but a lot of these wholesale companies did see a lot more benefit in terms of business. I mean, Costco, I'm sorry, they kind of took a big hit because of their mandatory face mask policy. BJ's, though, I'm not too sure. If they didn't do that, they might have seen some of the benefit from Costco. I mean, I work in the industry myself, and I had a lot of people come from Costco over to us because of the fact that they didn't want to do the mandatory mask policy. A lot of people didn't. So they honestly just went ahead and stopped going to Costco for a little bit. So you can see more benefit out of BJ's potentially. Macy's is I mean, it's one that it's not going to be around for long. I'll tell you that. Macy's, there will be a time in which Macy's follows in line with JCPenney for bankruptcy. Macy's Day Parade is no longer going to be the Macy's Day Parade. It'll be some other company. Maybe that honor will go to Kohl's, I don't know. Maybe. I love me some Kohl's, baby. Yeah. Don't expect good numbers out of Macy's. They're non-essential. Sorry. That's what the government tells me. Medtronic, another one just like you see with the other one previously. Very surgical based, improvements in surgeries. And I don't know necessarily where this company looks like in terms of this quarter. Probably not good because of the postponement of a lot of surgeries. And next quarter could be bad for them as well. But, it's worth a shot. It is a really good company, but I think it could get hit in the short term. Best Buy. Guess what, Best Buy? You are essential. The government said you are. And guess what? As one of the only essential business, electronics retail business, you are going to seek a lot of benefit because these guys were essential and others weren't. Best Buy should have a big opportunity, but you saw, obviously, overall net retail sales for electronics sales doing 80%, in April. What's Best Buy going to do to rock that? I mean, what are they going to do that makes it, show that they're good? They have a big opportunity ahead of them. I still think the numbers aren't going to be as good, but let's talk about stimulus check and tax return. People are idiots, and they take everything they get for granted, and they immediately will go spend it on a new television, even though that's not what it's for, but that's what people will do, and then they'll complain they need more money. That's just kind of the life of most government welfare programs, not necessarily saying just welfare in general, but stuff like this. People who are bad with money stay bad with money, even if you give them free money. I'm sorry to say it. After them, TJX, company that should report dismal numbers, as we expect. Not a bad company overall for the long term, though. If they, fall even more from the report, might be one to look at picking up. Hormel has a big opportunity again. Hormel, you'll know them for many of the food products they make. Probably, usually they're relatively garbage products, but I mean they don't taste good, but they're very good, and a lot of people buy them because they're cheap. So Hormel should have a really good time. The question is, I guess, what does hoarding buying look like after, March, April? Do they continue the momentum? In my opinion, they absolutely will. I think we'll find this out too. A lot of people probably gained a decent bit of weight because we were hoard buying food, but I can guarantee you people were eating most of that food still, even though they were buying it to quote unquote save. Hormel is still going to do fine because I think people are still buying food at rapid rates. I can tell you right now because I work in the industry, people are buying food all the time. It's not like it's slowed down since they bought so much last month. It's still keeping strong. So I expect good things from Hormel. We got TK and Vada, ADS and Brady. He is on the Buccaneers now, in case you were curious. We've got massive ones also, though, after close on Thursday. Probably the best, one of the best, if not the best tech companies out there, NVIDIA. They are pretty much involved in anything you could imagine as far as tech's concerned. NVIDIA is an amazing company. If they drop down, I will be buying the heck out of NVIDIA. It's already shot up so much, but I think this is just a very foolproof company for the next 10, 15 years. NVIDIA is fantastic, and they're involved with everything. NVIDIA is just, they're good. Very good team over there. Palo Alto, not a bad company also. Palo Alto, we talk about big tech benefiting in their own, pretty much their own bull market right now. Palo Alto should do well. Splunk, not a company I'm familiar with actually, but I do like the name. It reminds me of Holes. Splurt? What is that stuff called in Holes with Shia LaBeouf? I don't know. Next, we have Intuit. You might probably know them from their number one product. It's probably going to be TurboTax. With them extending the tax deadline to July, I don't know. I mean, you're probably going to see definitely a year-over-year decline. My question is what that scale looks like. And obviously, this next quarter, you'll see a big, ideally, the same amount of gain year-over-year as well. Because typically people aren't buying their tax software in the second quarter for this company. They're buying it to file them on time. But now that they've extended it, people will wait until the last day to file taxes. That's just what they do. I already filed mine, thank you very much, based off the original deadline. That's right. I'm no procrastinator. After that, we have Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, HP. Company could potentially benefit from everyone, getting into the home office space now. You should see hardware sales look pretty decent for them. Ross, you're non-essential. You're going to get hammered. Sorry. You're non-essential. What can I say? Agilent Technologies. Elf, they are a cosmetics company. You might know them for relatively cheap-ish makeup products. Not necessarily a category that people were benefiting in. You could see maybe a potential benefit. We talk about their digital growth, and as far as the amount of social media use that's increased, maybe people are buying makeup just for social media posts, and a lot of people I know are. So maybe they see a benefit from that actually in terms of sales. I'd like to see what kind of the CEO says about the company, but Elf is it's a good brand. They make good products. NYMT and Agilicis. I said it right that time, I promise. So very good Thursday for us. Friday, we got another banger coming for us. Alibaba Group. Alibaba, just a very good stock. Very good stock for Alibaba. Foot Locker after them. I don't know what to say about Foot Locker besides you're non-essential. And a lot of their benefit actually comes from the NBA. The NBA really sells a lot of shoes from Foot Locker because, well, they're partnered with them. So what kind of impact does that have on Foot Locker? That potentially the season for the NBA is shut down. I don't know. I'm interested to see, though, what that looks like for them. Definitely a company that pays a very hefty dividend, but they probably won't for too long, given the current environment and a lack of revenue coming in. After them, John Deere, not a company I would personally invest in going into a recession. Just personally, I wouldn't. Not a huge fan of John Deere right now. It's a company that I don't know, but it's Chinese again. Of course it is. There's iClick Interactive, CAE, Buckle, which luxury brand clothing. Sorry, you're going to get hammered. And malls aren't open, which are where most of your stores are at. So guess what, Buckle? You're going to get hammered. It's going to be ugly. And then Tribune Publishing. I feel like they have a newspaper. Do people buy newspapers anymore after Donald tells them not to trust the print media or the any media? I don't know. But that's going to be it for the week. There's some really good companies this week. I'm very excited for this week's of earnings, and I hope you are too.